I'm Lucy Edwards, Director of Strategic Engagement at Matterport and VHT Studios. And today we're at HomeSmart Premier Living Realty, and my guest is Richard Raspantini. And Richard is the CEO and the broker owner of the HomeSmart Premier Living Realty.
CEO, broker, owner, secretary, admin, treasurer, CFO, vice president, all that other stuff.
You see how much money you just saved?
I did. I saved a lot of money.
And that's what we would like to talk about today. I understand that you've been in real estate industry for quite some time. And let's just talk about that. And what decisions did you have to make for you to move to the franchise?
So back in 2014, 2015, I was at a traditional real estate brokerage. I was doing some things that a lot of agents weren't doing yet. They weren't doing social media. They weren't doing third-party websites. They really weren't doing Google pay-per-click. They weren't investing in internet type of marketing, whereas I was. It wasn't a thing that a lot of traditional real estate brokerages believed in. They still believed in things like mailers and circle prospecting, which are great. But as we all know today, internet marketing is definitely the way to go. So I decided to go out on my own. The problem I had when I went out on my own was trying to find, do I go independent? Do I go to another brokerage? Do I start a franchise? Which way should I go? It was very difficult to find a brand or a company that kind of matched what I was already doing and where I wanted to go. And then I found HomeSmart. And I saw everything that they had to offer the agents, and it was just an instant synergy. And here we are 7 years later, 175 agents, 6 different locations, and growing very, very quickly. And that's where we are today.
And you are on Long Island in both counties. You are in
and
Nassau.
We have a Queens office as well.
Oh, in Queens. So you're in 3 counties.
3 counties, yep.
Yeah. So you decided to go with HomeSmart because it is very close to your heart and they had the same beliefs, which is very important. The culture is important.
Very important.
And though you are independent and you have your own rules, you are using the back end and the platform of HomeSmart, correct?
Correct. So HomeSmart has a proprietary agent software system called RealSmart Agent. Mm-hmm. It's an agent portal where agents go in there and they upload their transactions, they pull down marketing materials, they control their websites, et cetera. So we've also become 100% completely paperless. So agents can literally operate from anywhere in the world. They can be in the Bahamas uploading documents, printing out flyers, doing internet marketing and social media marketing. So they don't have to be in the offices. Even though we have 6 full service offices, agents can really operate anywhere they want. So they have the best of both worlds.
Well, some agents would like to come to the office. They would like to have the admin. They want that support that is offered to them by the administrative assistant or secretary. How do you handle that part?
So if you look at it, who is really the administrative person in an office? Is it somebody with real estate experience? Is it just a secretary? Is it a college boy or girl or a high school boy or girl, right? So the way I look at it is when it comes to managers and admins, I think agents, especially today, it's not like 30 years ago, agents are much more self-sufficient. They do their own things. They upload their own MLS stuff. They do their own internet marketing. They do their own marketing. So, the real estate industry's changed. There's really not a necessity for managers and admins as far as I'm concerned. And I'm a big example of it. I'm the only employee at HomeSmart. I make myself available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to each of the agents, and I think that's something that they appreciate. And agents that come over from the traditional brokerages, we got to have them kind of relearn that this is their business, it's their brand. They're going to need to operate it like it's their own business. So it definitely works. It's a proven model, and our agents appreciate it. They run their business any which way they want, as long as it stays within the legal scope. And they're happy with it. They love it.
And HomeSmart itself, the brand of HomeSmart, it is nationwide.
Nationwide brand, opened in 2000.
Oh, okay, so it's young.
Yeah, well, we're the first 100% based brokerage in the country. Everybody else that considers themselves 100% is really just kind of imitated. We offer definitely the best technology and everything to support our agents compared to the other 100% based brokerages. And it's no knock against the other 100% based brokerages, but most of them are what we like to call just kind of license hanging centers, where an agent just hangs their license there, and then when they do a deal, and then they get paid, their commission with a small transaction fee. Here at HomeSmart, agents pay a small transaction fee on every deal, whether it's a $10 million deal or a $500,000 deal. The transaction fee doesn't change. So that's something that agents also appreciate, is they know exactly how much they're making. They're not giving up a large portion of the commission to the brokerage. And we offer more than most brokerages do as far as what we give our agents.
And you have a podcast, BS
or No BS. Yeah, we have a podcast, No BS podcast. The No BS stands for No Broker Splits, right? Because HomeSmart, we don't do any broker splits. We are 100% commission, like I said, with a small transaction fee. And it's something that I preach about all the time. You'll find myself, I talk to agents every day at networking events. They tell me where they're at, and listen, we're not for everybody. I say that all the time, right? We come across agents that want to join us, and we got to turn them down because they just don't fit our culture or what we're looking for in an agent, right? So we look for certain things in an agent. And we want to make sure that they're going to mesh with our culture, right? So if you're going to walk into our brokerage and say to me, I want 100% commission, I want an admin to upload my MLS, I want you to send out 500 postcards on my new listing, I want you to pay for my photography, listen, then that's probably not a place for you. This is why we're saving you $4,000 or $5,000 a deal, so you could take that few $100s that it's actually going to cost you and do that yourself the way you want to do it, right? Because you're the brand. Not the brokerage. You're the brand.
And that's what I would like to also touch on, is the brand. And that's what I would like to talk about, is the brand. So HomeSmart is a nationwide brand. It's a well-known brand.
Correct.
And, everyone is familiar with your quality and what you are offering to your clients. So how do you differentiate yourself with a larger nationwide brand that consider themselves, let's say, luxury brand?
Well, I think that's an easy question. I mean, we offer the same exact stuff that those brands offer with their luxury listings. So we have luxury listing packages, luxury type of signs, things like that. So we definitely have everything that they have as well.
Well,
but the agents save a lot more money. They're not paying, tens of thousands of dollars of commission splits. They're just paying a small transaction fee.
So for the same $10 million, they're 5 steps ahead and compare with everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. And listen, I've taken on my own luxury listings with the brand. So, and you'll hear me say this all the time. At the end of the day, your brokerage is not the brand. You're the brand as the agent. They're hiring you. They're not hiring the brand.
And some agents still would like to hold on to coming to the office, have their own office within the office, and they demand that and they feel comfortable. You call offices like that country clubs.
Country clubs. Yeah, so we get that a lot. We'll talk to agents and we'll say, well, what other than, what makes you stay at your brokerage? Let's forget about the splits for a second. And they'll say, well, we have this beautiful LED lighting. We have a bidet in the ladies' room or the men's room. We have an espresso machine. We only drink, special spring water in our offices, right? So to me, that's really a country club. That's not really a real estate office, right? Because at the end of the day, guess who's paying for the espresso machine? The agents are paying for that, right?
Yeah.
So, our belief says a little bit different. Yeah, we're going to have some water, but it's going to be Poland Spring or whatever this is, Pure Life, right? Sure, we're going to have bathrooms, might not have a bidet, right? We're going to have a coffee machine. It might be a Keurig. Right. So those are the things that, differentiate ourselves in that sense, but we do all the stuff that the other brokerages do as far as, happy hours, awards, and all that stuff to keep the agents, feeling like they mean a lot to the brokerage. And they do. Every single one of my agents, they mean a lot to me, collectively. I'm never gonna, make a lot of money or, become the next, Steve Jobs on one transaction fee, right? But collectively, all the transaction fees help us achieve what we want to achieve.
And when they join you, do you offer them some kind of training, understanding the platform, maybe some coaching?
Yeah. So we actually, for newer agents, we have a mentorship program. So we have an agent mentor that runs our mentorship program. And what she does is she takes all the new agents under her wing and teaches them the ins and the outs of real estate. They're required to stay in that mentorship program for a certain amount of time and a certain amount of transactions. Required. Any new agent that's newly licensed is required to go to the mentorship program.
And who pays for that mentor?
Well, what happen is because we're 100% based brokerage, when that mentee closes a deal, they will pay probably a small portion back to the mentor as a mentor fee or a coaching fee. And like I said, they're required to stay in it for the first 2 or 3 deals. And it works out well because now they actually have a mentor that they can reach, pretty much 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They get one-on-one, they get group coaching. And then obviously they have me as well, right? So another kind of ear to listen to them and coach them through the process. But it's great. The agents love it. We don't, as much as we like to have experienced agents, we also like new agents, right? Because new agents are not jaded, right? So we get to get them when they're fresh. And we get to teach them the business from...
You make real realtors out of them.
We make real realtors out of them, and they get to understand what we're all about. And again, they love it. And like I was telling you earlier, I mean, we don't have any turnover here. Agents don't leave us. Why would an agent leave? You're going to leave, you're going to get less, you're going to get paid less, you're going to pay higher fees, and you're going to get less services. Why would you leave? So agents don't leave us. So we just continue to grow month over month, year over year.
Do they come to the office? Because you have 6 offices. This office is pretty large and it's equipped for quite a few agents, as well as like your conference room. You have cameras here that they can create their own videos and social media.
Yeah, they come, they don't come, it just really depends. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if there's nobody here at the offices have secure codes that they can get into and access the office. So, we have agents that actually, only come to the office at night, right? So they may come after 5 p.m. Maybe they have something that, either they're night owls or maybe they have a day job. So they'll burn, what do they say? Burn the candle at both ends, right? So we do have a lot of that. And then sometimes we can have an office that's full. And then we can go 3-4 days when nobody gets to the office at all, right? So it really just depends. But we do understand that contrary to what a lot of brokerages are doing today, we do believe that you definitely still need a brick and mortar location for your agents. Just a place to hang their hat on and just kind of get away from the kids screaming, the dogs barking, etc. So I think that's also very, very important.
Well, and I believe coming to the office. I don't have an office, unfortunately, since we moved to Florida. There is no office, so we work from home. However, I really miss the atmosphere where you can come, chat, you learn from each other, you learn from someone else's good deal or bad deal. And I think that is also important for the culture to rub off what you're going through.
Yeah, so our agents have developed a certain, closeness. I don't want to use the word family because I think that in this business is just used over and over again. But, we've all become kind of like ingrained in each other's businesses, family lives, because we work so closely together. We'll hang out together. A lot of agents, they go to networking events together. They hang out on weekends together. They hang out in the evenings together. They do deals together, right? And for some agents, it's another shoulder to cry on, right, when things aren't going their way. So we've really developed a great culture here, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Oh, that is beautiful. Do you still have open houses?
Sure, yeah.
So it's the same, like you have the caravans and just like you used to before COVID?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a lot of agents, what they're doing today is they're still holding, when open houses were done before COVID, used to let anybody in there and there weren't lines. But I think agents got used to like that look of creating the line, only letting 2 people in at a time because it makes it look like it's busier than it is. I'm not a big believer in that. If I'm doing an open house, just this is what it is. It's an open house. You let everybody in as long as you can control the traffic.
Right.
You just let everybody in. There's no reason for lines. People are out waiting in the middle of winter. They're out there in the rain. Silly.
Richard, you always believed in professional marketing strategy. That's how we met, actually.
Correct. Yeah.
We met because we were doing basically 100% of your marketing within the photography and the print material back in the days, and we still do. What about Matterport? How do you feel about 3D tours? And I know that COVID played a huge role in real estate, residential real estate, I should say, because it was always great and big on commercial, but residential real estate really brought the best out of Matterport.
So I think what's great about Matterport is, and you hear this a lot, a buyer will go see a home and they'll say, it's a lot smaller than the pictures, or it didn't give a true presentation. What's great about Matterport is step by step, you can literally walk into a room, even a closet, and get a feel for the actual size of the room without actually physically being there. So I think it saves the buyers a lot of time when they're looking for a home. And it saves the agent a lot of time as well, because now they're not out there wasting their time showing a home that is not the right fit for their client. So that's something that I really love about Matterport. And it's really easy to use. Like I said, the interior, the exterior, it's just insane what the technology is today.
Some agents are saying, well, why should I have Matterport? Because the potential buyer just takes a look and then there is no reason for them to come. But you just answered that question. There is no reason for them to come.
Nobody wants their time wasted. And then they leave and they're like, what a waste of time that was. I drove 45 minutes. I sat in traffic for what? That living room was only 10 by 10. The pictures made it look like it was 20 by 20. Well, at least with Matterport, it's 10 by 10, so you get a true feel. It's almost like you're actually in the home.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, and thank you for that
Yep.
feedback. What would you wish to a future agent? And you just mentioned that you believe in taking on the brand new agents who had never been in real estate industry before, and you kind of groom them to be the real ones, and you educate them properly. So, but what would you wish to them?
What would I wish to new agents?
To new agents.
I would tell them, I would remind them that they're the brand, that it's very, very important that they create their own brand. Another thing that we do at HomeSmart, we don't give out agent emails. So it'll never be like John Smith at HomeSmart.com. We ask the agents to start branding themselves from the beginning. Buy a domain name, be John Smith at JohnTheRealtor.com or whatever it is. Like, a lot of agents don't understand that when they're using their corporate email addresses, their brokerage owns their email addresses. So if they decide to leave, those emails are gone. Those contacts are gone. They have to start all over again. I'm speaking from experience. And that's another thing that I learned very quickly. Never, ever, ever use a brokerage email address. Always have your own. And that's something that I preach from the beginning. That's probably like real estate 101 as far as I'm concerned, is make sure you learn to brand yourself. And the way to do that from the beginning is an email address.
And I have a note on that. We spoke earlier about agents. Sometimes they are willing to leave their previous traditional brokerage. They've been there for too long. They want to change, but they can't really move on and join another brokerage because they, like you were saying, they were held hostage and they couldn't really leave until they close all their deals or they lose the commission.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that disappoints me most with the traditional brokerages is how they do hold their agents hostage. We have a lot of agents that, they want to join us, but they can't. The reason is they might have 4 deals getting ready to close or going into contract, and they know if they leave their current brokerage, their commission split's going to get reduced from 70-30 to 50-50, and they just can't afford to do that. So they're kind of stuck at that brokerage till those deals are closed. But then if they still want to make a move, they have to stop doing business, because if they put new business in, they still can't leave. So what winds up happening is agents get stuck there for a lot longer than they need to be, or they start to figure out ways to do things that aren't maybe ethical by potentially doing deals in other agents' names. We get a lot of, like, say, husband and wife partnerships. What'll happen is that the husband will move first, and then the wife will follow, right, to keep that commission. So there's a lot of things that it doesn't need to be that way. If at HomeSmart, if you're not in the highly unlikely scenario, you're not happy here, you go. We're not going to hold your commission back. You're going to get paid just as you would if you were still here. Listen, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you here. Why are we going to hold you hostage? It makes absolutely no sense. So that's the biggest frustrating thing. And the funny thing is many agents don't even know that they're going to be held hostage until they go to leave the brokerage and the manager says to them, well, you have 4 deals pending. Now that you're leaving, we're going to hold those 4 deals. We're only going to pay you X, Y, and Z on it. And then the agent says, well, then I'm not going to leave. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, but then it's a very unpleasant situation.
It's unpleasant. It's uncomfortable. It becomes adversarial at times. And then what they start to do is they start to tell their friends what happened. And before you know it, they're annoyed. And it just becomes a big trickle-down effect and then makes us look wonderful. Even better than we are.
That's impossible.
That is definitely impossible. I agree with that.
Well, thank you so much, Richard. Thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yes,
it was wonderful.
It was a great... You certainly have a completely different attitude and direction than other brokerages. Yes. Your opinions are very border-like. And
transparent. I like to say I'm transparent. I don't BS anybody.
Yeah.
It is what it is, and see it for what it is. And it's just the way we operate.
Well, congratulations
Thank
with
you.
your excellent choice.
Thank you.
And I congratulate you with your growth.
Thank you.
And you have a wonderful team. Your agents are awesome. So thank you for spending time.
Oh, my pleasure. It was wonderful. Thank you, Lucy.
Thanks, Richard.
All right.